Hello, ladies and gents and weirdos alike. We are here at Albany Rural Cemetery in Albany, New York, coincidentally where we reside. Just wanted to take you around and show you some amazing monuments that are in here, mausoleums, and there's a few special graves of note that are gonna maybe make you happy. Come along with. It's an oldie, 1852. So right here, we have the grave of Erastus Corning II, who was the mayor of Albany, as you can see there, for 41 years. And the Corning Towers in Albany are named after him. He had a long tenure and pretty well thought of by the folks here, and yeah, that's his grave. This is the whole Corning section right here. Right here is Erastus Corning I, who was his great-grandfather and the founder of the New York Central Railroad. Pretty neat to see these. His wife's also here, Harriet. Yeah, mayor of Albany for 41 years.
There are 467 acres that make up this cemetery, divided amongst 3 ridges and many ravines and hills. And many of these ravines and hills and ridges have ghost stories, because after nearly 2 centuries, there has been a lot of history, a lot of happenings, and according to many people in some books, haunts. The sound of a phantom horse running along the cemetery that got killed after it hit a monument on a wild run. Horrible story. That's what they say, is something you might hear. Gravediggers were definitely surprised in the 1800s to 1900s by a slender gray-haired woman who had a sad expression and entered the cemetery just as the sky was becoming pink with the dawn. You can find many of these stories in a book by Peter Hess, People of Albany, the First 200 Years. This is where some of the phenomenon is mentioned about Albany Rural Cemetery. There are many people who claim to have seen different phantoms, apparitions, and shadows walking these ridges. Over the years, people have chosen this cemetery and its beautiful vista overlooking a lake to take their own lives. This, depending on your belief, could lead to the potential for some paranormal activity.
This is the kind of cemetery you can get lost in. It just took us like a half mile in the wrong direction, I guess.
Somebody here has literally got a pin on the map and is directing toward it.
It's a vast cemetery. It's really cool. If you're ever here and you're into this sort of thing, I couldn't recommend it enough. It's pretty awesome. So we're looking for a grave that's going to blow you guys' mind. It blew our mind when we saw that it was in here. So this is a vast cemetery, as I stated earlier. So finding it's going to be a bit of a trick. They have good maps, and we believe we're in the right spot, so we'll be back.
The guy who gave us Fortean is at rest right here in the Albany Rural Cemetery. It's him, it's Charles Fort.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome.
It's a pretty significant person.
This is the whole family plot. This is really neat. And it's got an absolutely giant monument too. He walked so we could run into the dark, into an alien abduction, into, you know, copious amounts of animals raining from the sky, and no one can figure out why. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your contribution to the weird, sir. It's all his family and their giant fort monument.
Oh my God, it's a tree that's a bench. It's a tree seat. I love it. Oh my God, I need to be in here. Oh my God. If I were a squirrel, oh, if I had better knees, I'd be on this. All right, I guess I'll come out now.
Take a pine cone home from it if you want. There's a lot of some seed left in it.
Look at all its knots. Oh my God, this is the greatest tree I've ever seen. Okay.
We have found the president's grave. He's over here somewheres. Where is he?
Is it not convenient that if somebody was president, they put a flag over his grave so you can...
They do it for other people too. Well, they do. Well, after much searching, this is the grave of President Chester A. Arthur, the only president in our history to serve 2 non-consecutive terms. He's buried here in Albany Rural Cemetery. He became president when President Garfield had been shot. He was vice president, so he finished out that term. Left office after that, and by popular demand, he ran again 4 years later and got it. He was a decent president.
Would you like to leave him some money?
I don't have any.
Or a rock?
Let's put this piece of money back up there. It fell. Oh,
Jesus.
damn near killed me. Grave of Erastus Dow Palmer, a famous sculptor. Not too familiar with his work, but I have heard of the name. Well sculpted mausoleum there. Pretty awesome. Walter Blant Palmer, National Academician. Got a little bit of a mystery here. I'm looking for the grave of a woman named Anne Darling, who was in The Bride of Frankenstein. She's a Troy native and lived in LA most of her life and passed away in 1991. But where they say her stone should be, it is not. So I have no clue. No clue at all. So if you're here, Godspeed, Miss Darling.
Who would we be if we didn't leave you with a little mystery from Albany Rural? Bertha Isabel Cleveland was born September 28, 1879, to Frederick and wife Gertrude in Albany. In 1882, her younger sister became sick and passed away from what doctors described as malignant diphtheria. On November 3, 1882, Bertha also passed away after falling ill with much of the same symptoms, and due to the deaths within such a close period of time, her family commissioned marble statues of both the children to watch over the Cleveland family plot. Bertha's statue did just that for over a century until 1993, when her statue, a marble portrait supported on 2 metal rods in front of the memorial, and several other items, urns, metalwork, and decorative pieces from the cemetery were all stolen, never to be seen again, and to this day, Bertha's marble memorial is missing from Albany Rural Cemetery. Thanks for coming with us on a walk on the weird side through Albany Rural. If you liked what you saw, be sure to hit the subscribe button, and as always, stay weird.